Every time I covered a game in Arrowhead, I usually get here about 8 hours beforehand, and I am fascinated by the number of people already lined up. We're talking about a mile long in cars, but when you get to the front, that's where the really crazy people are. This is the party before the party. Now, they're already packed up because they have to head inside. Look at my guy, Seth Teague, right here. Met him a couple nights ago. He says, hey, you should come out the night before. I told him, respectfully, no. But what time did you get here?
9:45 last night.
9:45. What'd you have with you when you started to unpack?
So we had 3 tents. We had, 5 tables, a smoker, a griddle. I mean, we had it on a little tent city.
It's tent city out here. It's unbelievable. We're kind of near the front, so maybe a little bit earlier next time. By the way, speaking of the game itself, the Chiefs also want to get off to this type of a fast start. They are 19-4 after a loss in the Patrick Mahomes era. They believe that mentality will play well against the Eagles in this game. But Andy Reid did mention the fact that they were a little sluggish out of the gates. Unlike these guys who start fast, the Chiefs were not fast enough. They know they need to do this. And by the way, if you notice, these guys are wearing overalls without shirts underneath. That is very rare here at Arrowhead. Normally, they are, full layers here. Instead, this got trimmed chest too, very nicely trimmed. By the way, not the full coverage of normal. We just got a flag thrown into the play. It's going to be 91 degrees, Greeny. It's going to be hot out here.
No, come on.
It's going to be hot.
No, you can't talk about a man's chest like that. If you're a man. Jeff Darlington talking about trimming another man's. Hey, Jeff. We can't do that.
What full service show. We got all the grooming, anything that you're looking for. And speaking of heat on the Chiefs, they lose a one-score game on a Friday night in Brazil, and the reaction seems to be the dynasty is over. So let's talk about this for a minute here. Rex, as only you can, give me 2 words for the way the Chiefs are feeling right now.
Major panic. And I'm going to say why. All right? All the teams in the division are better. Are better. The Raiders are better. The Chargers are better than they've been. The Broncos are better than they've been. And everybody's catching up. And here's the thing. Right now, you're without 2 of your best weapons. Mm-hmm. Rashee Rice still suspended, right? 6-game suspension. And then Shefty told us earlier, Xavier Worthy's not playing in this one. Right. Dislocated shoulder. We don't know. Could it be another week? I'm not sure. But they can't afford to not have any weapons. Patrick Mahomes still the best quarterback on the planet. However, who the hell is he throwing to? I ain't buying it. Look, they got some average receivers in there now. Juju Smith-Schuster can't run. All these type of things. No, it's a problem. And here's the biggest problem. Their defense is not as good as it was either. Yeah. Their defense carried this football team last year. I don't think they're playing to that level right now.
I respect what they tried to do last year. They tried to make history. Going 3 straight, and they put everything into it, and they tried to achieve it, and they didn't. Moss and I know a little bit about that, trying to achieve the perfect season, and to fail that. But what the Chiefs are to me right now is a team sort of in transition, because I see them in transition because the problem is, they're the same. They're the same they've been the last 2 to 3 years with, when it all comes down to it, Patrick Mahomes, when it breaks down, go ahead, run around and try to save the day and be Superman. That isn't sustainable anymore. It was in the past, but now what happened is the offensive line has gotten worse. Travis Kelce has gotten older. They're in a transition to try to hit a second run with this quarterback. Very similar to what the Patriots did. They had a little lull and then they came back and won 3 others, but they did something that the Chiefs do not have. They drafted a guy by the name of Rob Gronkowski, who was probably one of the greatest tight ends of all time, and then he took the league by storm. Where is that difference maker in Kansas City? The new sort of offense looking. They thought it was Xavier Worthy, whether through performance or injuries. I don't know if he's the guy, but they are figuring things out in Kansas City.
Teddy, I think that player is actually Rashee Rice for this team.
Yes,
and obviously he's out.
He's healthy, right?
I know, but he's missing the first 6 weeks of the season. Worthy, their next best weapon on offense, he's out for obviously some time here. We'll see. I do think that the concern is different this year, right? And for a lot of reasons. Again, they got a rookie left tackle, right? That they have lost the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, and especially offensively. Again, they have so much youth up there. They had 10 penalties in the game last week. The vast majority of them were on this offensive line. 4 of them on their right tackle, Jawan Taylor, who is the veteran of the group. And in fact, this guy leads the NFL in tackles since he's become to Kansas City. This, look at this stat.
Penalties.
46 penalties, more than anybody else. This is in the whole NFL, mind you, right? He's got to be better. They can't afford to have these mistakes. And one of the biggest concerns for me is when you turn on that film, Patrick Mahomes played out of his mind last week in that game, and they still lost, right? And to expect him to do that every single week, right, it's just not sustainable. To your point, I don't know if the defense is where it was as well. They need to be better. So I got major concerns.
I want to see what the back end for Vic Fangio's defense is going to look like this time around. I know what it looked like in the Super Bowl because by you being able to rush 4 and drop 7, you can do a lot of things on that back end. So what I want to see them going on the road, and the reason why I say that, Rex, as the defensive coordinator, who scares you in the deep part of the field for the Kansas City Chiefs?
Should I give you 2 words? It's really 1 word?
Yeah.
Nobody. I know it's 1 word, Moss, but for me, it's 2 words.
Well,
nobody.
Well, I'm going to use
Man,
those
I'm telling
too.
you.
Well, the reason why I say that is because when you look at what they did last week, you had a guy like Hollywood Brown. He missed his first catch. I said that earlier. But you having 16 targets with 16 targets with 10 catches. Juju Schuster, and then you still have reliable Travis Kelce. I don't care what you say about Trav. I talked about Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase's chemistry earlier. They have chemistry too. So if anybody is going to get it done today, it's the pass catchers for the Kansas City Chiefs. And I'm not looking for East and West. I'm looking for North and South. And if they're able to do that, they're going to give Philadelphia something to handle.
I just don't think they're going to be able to do it in this one, Randy. I think Vic Fangio can get to the passer. Later, I'm going to show you about that with just rushing 4 guys. I think it's going to be a long day.
Eagles get Jalen Carter back this week, obviously, after missing pretty much all of week 1.
And he's ready to go.
Yeah.
I would say he's ready
fresh
to go
as
this
hazy.
week. Yeah.
Finish it up, Adam.
Yeah, well, both these teams fresh. Obviously, the Chiefs coming off a long break as well. I just think at home, at Arrowhead, we saw Darlington with the crowd. There is a home field advantage. I want this defensive line needs to take advantage. Get off the ball, get after Jalen Hurts, control the line of scrimmage on that side.
We'll have a lot more on this game as
Week 2, and Brock Purdy is out today for the 49ers, but there is an outside chance he could be back next Sunday for the Arizona Cardinals. Made a lot of progress from that toe injury this week, despite the fact that he will not play today. Without Purdy on the field, Mac Jones will make his first start for the 49ers 4 years after they considered taking him with the 3rd overall pick in the draft, and they believe that the environment around him with the 49ers roster will elevate his performance today. But there are a whole lot of issues for the 49ers today. George Kittle on injured reserve out. Brandon Ayuk remains on PUP out till midseason. Juwan Jennings, however, is expected to play today, and they won't know till pregame whether Trent Williams can play. If he can't, Spencer Burford would step in at left tackle. Meanwhile, the Chiefs won't have Xavier Worthy today. He was ruled out yesterday with that dislocated shoulder that he suffered in a friendly fire play with Travis